Welcome once again to today's broadcast. In the previous broadcast, we were looking at how Herod was looking for the baby Jesus, pretending to want to worship him, but he wanted to kill him. Today, we will continue with the same message around when Jesus was born. Or the period after Jesus was born. We're going to continue to read the same chapter that we read before, Matthew chapter 2. I'm just going to read verse number 10 to verse number 11. Verse 10 and 11. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother, Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. If you have not been following, or if you haven't read this passage or this chapter, which is Matthew chapter number 2, we're talking about the Magi, or what we call the wise men. From the east. They came led by the star to where Jesus was. They were led to come to where Jesus was born, in Bethlehem. And the Bible says when they came, they were led by the star. When they came, they could not find Jesus. They thought Jesus was born in the palace, but he wasn't born in the palace. He was born in Bethlehem and was laid on a manger. And so they came and they didn't find Jesus in the palace. And Herod tells them, go and look for this baby Jesus, and when you find him, come and tell me. So they continue following the star. They follow the star. And the star stops at where Jesus was. And the Bible says they came and bowed down and worshipped him. Can you imagine? Jesus has just been born. He's a baby. But God leads through a star. God leads people, wise men. God leads them to come. And when they came, two things happened. They bowed and worshiped. And then the Bible says they opened their treasures and presented gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Just imagine. I want to remind you that Mary and Joseph, they were not rich people. They weren't rich people. They were probably people who are living from hand to mouth. They were carpenters. One thing that can help you to know what kind or what their economic status was, the Bible in the book of Leviticus had said, when you got a firstborn, you had to give an offering, the offering of a lamb. But if you could not afford, then you were allowed to give an offering of 2 doves or 2 pigeons. And that's exactly what what Mary and Joseph took to the temple when they presented the boy. 2 pigeons or 2 doves, because they could not afford a lamb. So the poor people, or people of low economic status, they were allowed to bring that kind of an offering. Whereas the other people, the rest of the people, were to bring a lamb. Go and read in the book of Leviticus. Mary and Joseph, they brought 2 pigeons, 2 doves. But the wise men, when they came, they bowed down and they worshiped Jesus. That was not the only thing they did. They presented gifts of gold, of frankincense, and myrrh. How many of us have ever seen gold? Have you ever seen gold? Most of us will probably only see it on TV or pictures or movies. Most of us will never see or touch it because it's valuable, it's expensive. But when Jesus was born, The very day that Jesus was born, when these wise men came to see him, to worship him, to bow down to him, these are the gifts that they brought. I'm here to tell you that when Jesus comes, he comes loaded with blessings. When Jesus comes, he comes loaded with blessings. That's what we normally say and sing. Wherever Jesus went, he did good. Wherever Jesus goes, good things happen. Jesus has just come into the world. But look at what happens to his parents. These are carpenters. Joseph was a carpenter. Like a lowly carpenter, not a rich man. But when his son Jesus was born, all of a sudden he becomes a rich man. He gets gifts, expensive gifts. He gets gold. He gets frankincense. He gets myrrh. Can you imagine? These are expensive gifts. Jesus comes loaded with blessings. When Jesus comes in your life, he comes loaded with blessings. When Jesus comes in your heart, he comes loaded with blessings. I don't know what you are waiting for. Jesus is what you need. And when Jesus comes, just as he came 2,000 years ago, just as he came loaded with gifts from others, from wise men, he does the same when he comes in our lives. He makes a difference. And above all, leave alone, things that are tangible, things that are worldly. He brings life with him, because he came that we may have life and have it in abundance. Amongst other things. What Jesus can do, no man can do. What Jesus can give, no one can give. I'm here to tell you, Jesus comes loaded with blessings. And you can believe and trust in him.